to. Now within the spider, and we're getting more and more relevant to this election now, this Big Brother by-election. The Round Table was a secret society that was started by a man called Cecil Rhodes, who died in 1902. And this secret society, which has been exposed massively in great detail by one of the people called Carroll Quigley, who was a professor at Georgetown University, actually taught Bill Clinton. And he was connected to this Round Table network and had access to secret papers of that secret society to see what they'd been doing through the 20th century, since they were created. The Round Table then started to create offshoot organizations which it controls. First came the Council on Foreign Relations, 1921 in America. The Rockefeller family were behind that. Then came the Royal Institute of International Affairs in London, actually came before that even. Then came the Bilderberg Group, 1954, and the United Nations, and the Club of Rome, 1968, and the Trilateral Commission in 1973. And the Trilateral Commission was created by the Rockefellers, David Rockefeller, and a man called Zbigniew Brzezinski, who is the man behind Barack Obama, who I mentioned earlier. The Bilderberg Group was officially met for the first time at the Bilderberg Hotel in Oosterbeek, Holland in 1954 in the May. And every year, although its steering committee meets very regularly, every year they have a meeting somewhere in the world of the high and mighty of global finance, business, politics, media ownership, intelligence agencies and the military, including the Secretary General of NATO. The only place that massive meeting of people in positions of power that dictate the direction of the world will be reported, not what went on there necessarily, just the fact that they're meeting, is on the internet, on sites like mine, Alex Jones, the Rense site and stuff like that, and others, because the mainstream media who attend it, some of their members, never report its existence. If any other organization was doing that with those people, it would be reported, not the Bilderberg Group. Now, Carroll Quigley wrote two books. One was called The Anglo-American Establishment, and another one, a big work, was called Tragedy and Hope, in which he exposed this from the inside, because he agreed with what they were doing. And as he pointed out in his books, their goal was the centralization of global power with a world government. He agreed with it. He just thought the public ought to know it was going on. This is what he wrote in one of his books, The Anglo-American Establishment. The picture is terrifying because such power, whatever the goals at which it may be directed, is too much to be entrusted safely in any group. No country that values safety should allow what the Milner Group, this is Alfred Milner, Lord Milner, who took over from Rhodes as its head, and sometimes it's called the Milner Group. The Milner Group accomplished, that is, that a small number of men would be able to wield such power in administration and politics, should be given almost complete control over the publication of documents relating to their actions, should be able to exercise such influence over the avenues of information that create public opinion, and should be able to monopolize so completely the writing and teaching of the history of their own period. And he goes on to explain how they were behind the major events of the 20th century, including the two world wars. So that is one of the key networks within this structure. And there's the Trilateral Commission, a co-creator, now behind Barack Obama. All that stuff will become relevant to this election as we go along. Well, I think one of the, if I've made any contribution to this, then one of the things that I'm most proud of is to have come up with the phrase problem, reaction, solution to describe the most used and the most powerful method of mass mind and emotional manipulation that has been used on us to advance this agenda. It used to be called the Hegelian dialectic. And I thought problem, reaction, solution would sum it up more succinctly. What it means is that you want to change society in a way that if you did it openly and had a meeting and said, right, well, tell the public this is what we're going to do, you know that you would get a massive public reaction against what you want. So you don't do it openly. You play this technique. Stage one, you create a problem. It could be a terrorist attack, it could be a war, it could be a government collapse, it could be a run on a currency, it could be a credit crunch, rising food prices, rising mortgages. Anything that will give you the opportunity to install the solution to that problem that will advance your agenda. Once you've covertly created the problem, you then tell the people through a pathetic mainstream media the version of that problem that you want the public to believe, i.e. Bin Laden orchestrated 9/11, Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy, whatever. If we had a journalistic profession, even just in any way justifying the name, problem, reaction, solution fall down, because the explanation would be investigated, it would be fined to be wanting, it would be reported to the people, this would collapse. Because we don't have a journalistic profession worthy of the name, the problem is created, the cover story of the problem is then reported to the people as official history, uninvestigated, and what they're looking for at stage two is a reaction from the public that says, in effect, something must be done, what are they going to do about it? Fear, outrage, do something. And then those who've covertly created the problem, got the public reaction, do something, then openly, through changes in legislation, offer the solutions to the problems they have themselves covertly created. And what are those solutions? They are changes in society to advance the Orwellian Big Brother state and the centrally controlled global agenda. At the 33rd level of Freemasonry, of the Scottish Rite, that's the highest official level, they have a motto, Ordo ab chaos, order out of chaos. Problem, reaction, solution. You try manipulating harmony, very difficult. You try manipulating chaos, piece of cake. They want chaos. You see, through problem, reaction, solution, we need to switch our minds a bit here. Because of problem, reaction, solution, they don't want crime figures to come down. Because if they do, they can't offer the solutions to the crime figures, which is more control. They want people knifed in the street. They want problems with food, because then they can offer the solution of genetically modified food, which they're doing, this government now, even though the people have rejected it overwhelmingly. They want the problems. They have to have them, or they can't offer the solutions. This is what Bush said after 9/11. You're free, and freedom is beautiful, and you know it'll take time to restore chaos and order out of chaos, but we will. Problem, reaction, solution. This is the Second World War. If you look at the First World War, after it was over, global power was in dramatically fewer hands than it was when that war started. Nothing changes a society globally or locally like a war. After the Second World War, it was in even fewer hands, and we had the creation of the United Nations, we had the Bretton Woods Agreement, we had the IMF, we had the World Bank came after it. And what they did, these bloodlines, these shadow people at the top of these pyramids, they were behind the British government and the American government of Roosevelt. They were behind Stalin, who was one of their front men. Remember the thing, both sides. And they funded the Nazi party into power, and they funded their war.